Even here. All right, so I'm gonna open and I'm gonna close with a haiku, and in between, there's no use lying to you guys. You know, sometimes you're in good moods and sometimes you're in bad moods. So you guys can get a lot of my sad, dark poetry. Just ride the wave with me. Okay, so the first one, here we go. Old pains still cause stains. Tidal waves won't wash it out. Only time wears stone. This is called Old Me. How do those old hooks slide into old wounds so smooth? Just when you thought the moon phased and the tides changed, it all comes crashing back in tidal waves. I can't be a new me with this old you, remembering back when I knew that me too. I think that's the trouble with trying to change. No matter the movements made and the efforts waged, there'll always be a little left lingering of my old ways. And I haven't committed to cutting ties, so I've got ropes tied onto these old lives. Friends and foes of memories told, I still hear echoes on the wind of whispers I spoke so long ago. I shudder at the stakes I struck into softened souls that once crossed my path, and I passed them with no presence. I can't help but apologize for the step I took with lack of sight. Sorry for the things I didn't know with time. Excuse my old me, please. I know she got me here at least, but she's gone. Just as soon as you forget her too, we can set her free. This one's for Phil. I think this is the only poem, the highest compliment. Do not dwell, my dear doer, on the things you have done, for they did what they must when you needed them done, and they do not from then on need to be touched. Once you left them in memory, that's where they ought to have stayed, but you couldn't stop worrying. What if you had done differently that day? Things in the now would have other things to say. Yet the doubt kept on creeping. It kept knocking on your door, begging, let me in, let the silent thoughts soar, and create false worlds in your skull, mocking your newness, confusing why you are the you that you are, stirring up remembrances, mixing up tenses. It starts to blend in, regardless of how the mask sits. The cringe beneath will show. Echoes off of words you speak will whisper how you really feel. Worn down, but built up, bruised marks of slip-ups, but a posture improving with the years that it keeps. Like rings in a tree, my spine has lines at certain times when moments chose to change me. I should be shrinking, but I keep expanding. I'm beyond my body, measured at different standards. Drain me if you need to, I'm full of swallowed doubt, floating on poisonous streams. And if you don't think I've been swimming with my demons in the deep end, you're crazier than you seem. This is, I think, the breakiest breakup poem I've ever written. It's called Goodbye. As I hear you speak those words, I feel my still heart shatter. But what does it matter to see the broken pieces scattered, to feel the sharpened fragments cut my fingers as I gather where they hit the floor, much less gracefully than I'd have rathered. And although it's my heart that's lost, my mind cannot help but feel as mad as the Hatter, and my voice rambling with this nonsensical chatter, with my coattails dragging in the tale of sorrow I leave in my wake. Darkness looms at my every step. It seems as though there's not much more that you can take. The taking that you took while delivering words that shook, earth-shattering consonants and vowels assembled in intentional ways to break me. To break my heart first, and then my voice, because there was no missing the cracking in my voice as I begged that it could not be so. Those words you spoke, these sentences cannot be more than my mad hattering waves. It cannot be so. I cannot fathom these words. I think my heart went first, because it was the most vulnerable. My mind stayed strong for as long as it could, and it lent me its most durable. My body kept living, though. It seems incorrigible. Why did you need to speak at all? By the look in your eyes, I could see my future of misery in every teardrop you shed. But if I feared that the shoe had been traded, I might have carbon copied the mistake that was fed. I did not need those words to live. I seemed to be starving to death on those letters dipped in poison. I'm starving on the words funneled down my throat. I did not choose to listen, but I heard anyways. I felt anyways. And now I'm so numb that it hurts. Pain much deeper than nerve endings. Pain that only those who have felt it know what it's like. Pain that made me question my own life on more than just one night. Pain that even now curses through my body, and this is just the memory. To think I have the ability to recall such vivid misery of that forceful treachery. Tread no further at my demise. Step no harder on my heart. Speak no louder than can be done while your mouth is closed. You bring me nothing of value. You bring me absence. How long can you live without a heart? I guess I'm about to find out. I told you it's sad stuff. Here we go. I sometimes get so angry that my mind makes noise. My thoughts yell so loud that I end up speaking, and in those words I say things I never knew. There's this barrier somewhere, built in to make my tongue and teeth clash with forced words used to translate an elegant brilliance into simple, sputtered out mess. I'm embarrassed at what my throat vibrates into the air, and I'm so sorry if your ears were within range of my ankle-slapping waves, because there are storms contained in my bones. Giant waves crashing behind my eyes and gusts of hurricanes, winds blowing off the shores of my brain, circling my skull, and then they force their way down into my lungs enough to breathe. And those exhale breezes barely make a whisper heard. My words crawl out of the wreckage of thoughts in a 27-year-long war, soul survivors beating at the edge of chaos and holding hands as they walk the plank into the life outside my mind, wavering as they break the bars of my teeth only to fall into a pile of misrepresented original thought. I try to catch them midair and keep them safe, knowing the sufferings they have just endured, trying to leave their home they've known so long. Try to keep them together so they're not as alone as the ones I couldn't reach in time, but maybe that's much too assumptive of me. Maybe the words I thought slipped through my lips and escaped me found freedom. At last released from the scornful eye of mine, like a smothering mother, I kept them too long protected. Worried that the world wouldn't understand them. Worried that they wouldn't represent me well enough. Living vicariously through the thoughts I tried to teach someone who never needed the knowledge. How lucky the ideas are that I got to forget. Sitting somewhere blissfully, never needing to be translated into some pitiful language, never needing or wanting to be heard. I envy those thoughts I forgot, or left my mind through my mouth only to be forgotten by someone else. They don't have to live this tormented expectational journey any longer. How nice it would be to be one of my thoughts I never thought. Those are some, actually, of my older poems. I haven't written too many new ones, but this one's a little newer. Some of you are familiar. I've been trying to tell my story in silence for too long. Cowering in corners, hoping someone, just maybe someone, might catch my courageous eyes searching. Looking for other empty holes, staring back in pairs. Fading faint lights and other lost and lonely souls still somewhat aware. Eager to share the vast spaces I flowed in when I abandoned my body at parties. Fitting into tiny conversations never fit in with my frame, all the pieces of their experiences, but they're not the ones to blame. Yet I convinced myself that other people kept me from being me, as if my lips lived on other faces and their judgments became my pleas. As if the unease in my environment crept up through my feet, shaking my knees. I just want to embody my body. My silence has served nobody but the silent voices I hush, and they turn into thoughts that linger at the tip of my brain, way in the back out of reach, until they fight amongst themselves, coming to a sudden halt behind my teeth. Tonguing each one like sunflower seeds, I pick them off and crush their dreams. Pull from them their chance to grow, to feed myself on self-control. And spit their shells in mockery, to be in dirt but cannot sprout. I look at them, and in an instant I know. I must shout, I must yell my intentions and control the bones beneath. I must stop being silent and actually speak. I know my own thoughts very likely too well, and they deserve the chance to be a flower, fulfill the potential of their shell. So if you see me running in circles while shouting clear and bold, know that I have finally found my voice, and my story is being told. How much longer? I know I'm good, but oh, that was funny. I'm sorry. Okay, this is a newer one. We'll roll with it. Stars lined my window as wisps of heavy winds traced my cheekbones. I heard news today that the winds are coming home. I took quickened inhales of rain and gulps, drinking in what the clouds must know. And homes of hovered meaning, gathering in light company to means of other matters, seeing eagle-eyed at all times, holding oceans, picking up streams, and chasing chaos. I watched them grow, slumped in a slow march, never making an outline, just leaving traces of forceful life. Drops finding cratered cradles, swimming amongst long-winded friends, speaking of journeys with no ends. And all the while I hear them all whisper, this is the storm, this is thunder's drum, this is all there is, so let the rivers run. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do hips, just because I like that one. No wonder a woman has hips. No wonder the bones of the body move for her. Have you ever carried the weight of a woman's mind? Felt the feeling she forces back down? Seen her sway, almost as if in rhythm? Water waits within her skin. Ankles slapping, wading waters surge and swell. People skipping rocks across her surface instead of ripples leaving scars. And as the rocks drop, she picks them up, carries each one for its weight and worth. Arms stiffen with conviction to never let them go, yet still she holds. Even the sharp rocks, the heavy rocks, the rocks splitting her calloused hands, yet still she holds. But the water won't hold forever. Enough pebbles in a half-filled bucket will soon spill, and the eyes are the overflow. And the mind begs for forgiveness under all the pressure building. Hips tremble and slowly grow, skin stretching, taut then losing slack, back breaking and molding, forward folding, flat feet upon the earth, neck exposed and smooth. But ask for her eyes. That way, when you see them brimming, rippling at the tipping point, you could reach out and take back all the rocks you threw. Hold her hand, forcing her to let go of the past. It won't reverse the skin stretching or migration of her bones, but it will let her know there are softer things to hold. Thank you, guys. I have one more, and I'm going to end with a haiku because I started with a haiku. And it's also the haiku that is the end of my zine that you can buy for $5. No, but like really, you can. And if you don't have $5, like that's cool too. You should come and get one though. A little shout out to a couple of my friends. My friend is an artist who did that. That's one of my poems, ignore that. Another poet friend from San Francisco who's actually really, really good. You guys should look him up if you're on social media. He goes by King Steamy, but you know, it's his prerogative. But he's really good. But yeah, and then this is my friend Christina, she drew that. And yes, for the guys in the audience, I've heard a couple times there are boobs on this picture, so, you know, score, I guess, that's what I hear. Okay, so this is my last poem. It's a haiku on mortality. Cold bodies crumble. Sand is slowly worn down stone. Time combines the ghosts. One more time? Yeah. All right. Please. Cold bodies crumble. Sand is slowly worn down stone. Time combines the ghosts. Thank you.